Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at the largest Tesla Turo fleet in the whole United States and probably the whole world. We're back at our office and my partner is actually the one that has it. As you can see right away, you just see Teslas out front. I mean, he has a lot. Let's just say a lot. We're going to walk in, we're going to talk to him a little bit, and he'll give you a better breakdown than I probably could.
What's up, guys?
So this is Justin.
Max. How are you doing?
So how many Teslas do you have right now?
150.
You have 150?
Yeah, just under. I think it's 146 to be exact.
And how many do you own versus vehicle partners?
25 are owned.
25 are owned. Okay, so 125 are vehicle partners.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how many cars do you have in your fleet total?
On our Turo account right now, it's like 243.
You have 243 now?
Yep. So that includes
Holy crap.
somebody just moved into our office. We kind of like merged operations slightly. I'd say on the Turo account, it's like 243 cars.
Oh, okay. So that's with our cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you guys didn't know, Max and those guys just moved in to my conference room.
We did.
I set up a TV for the conference room just for them to have a personal TV, and I don't even have a TV in my office.
Yeah, this is our space right here. Whose office? Oh, this was just a conference. There's nothing in here, right?
It was conference room.
Oh, but you didn't have any conferences in here, did you?
Yeah, just standing. There's no furniture.
You just stood around in the corner at a conference.
Around.
So tell me about how many chargers do we have? I don't even know. Like
we have a lot of level 1 chargers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 level 1 chargers.
Just in here.
In here, and then 2 level 2 chargers right there. Okay. We'll get more chargers installed outside. We honestly don't have much of a charging issue. I mean, you've probably seen that. There's a lot of rotating, but like I would say 95% of trips go out above, maybe even more than that, maybe 98% go above. Like they get checked in and are ready to go. And we could make it at 90%.
At 90%?
Yeah, that's considered full on most Teslas.
Yeah, and that would be my first thought is charging. But you're right, it's not. Like you have alternatives, like you don't just charge here.
Yeah, you don't need a charger for every car by any means at all. And most of the cars are on the road. So like the issue would be if you had like 100 cars are back at the office and 50 of them came back to the previous day and they're all low charge, which would never happen. Like that'd be a very rare phenomenon.
Yeah. Do you ever rate people like 1 stars if they bring it back? Like 1%?
Not just because of that, but say the car comes back super trashed and maybe they parked it on the wrong side of the complex. We had to go on a freaking hike to go find the car and we find it at 6%.
Do those go together pretty often?
Yeah, I think the person who like knows they probably should have charged the car and they don't want to talk to us from the side, they'll park the car, be like, I couldn't find the office even though I just picked it up 2 days ago. I'm gonna park it a mile away.
Yeah.
Hopefully you find it.
What's the biggest problem you see having Teslas?
I mean, the repairs. I mean, the renter side of it's not that big of a problem.
Doesn't seem like you have that many. I mean, how many repairs do you have going on right now? Doesn't seem like a lot.
4 or 5. But I'm saying like to get Tesla repairs done, you have to be a Tesla certified shop. It's like there's like the whole process for that.
And there's one shop you take it to?
There's one shop we use primarily right now, which is nice. They've been really good to us.
Are they fast?
As fast as you can be. Yeah, I mean, we might have some sort of priority mechanism there now.
With this many cars, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, they recognize it. I think other shops don't recognize the value of having us take all of our cars there.
Yeah.
So I think they are pretty transparent. They like appreciate it. But renters wise, cars don't really die very often. You've probably heard of like maybe 1 tow of us towing a car.
Yeah, it's rare. Actually, I don't even know.
People think it happens all the time. It's incredibly rare. Low charge cars though, that's pretty common. Yeah. I would say like maybe 20% of the trips, 30% of the trips come back pretty low charge.
And what's your solution for dead cars if they're dying on the road?
You never heard of Turo roadside support?
I have now.
Just tow the car to the nearest charger.
What? Isn't there like, there's mobile places that'll come and charge, right? Yeah,
that too. Like EV urgency, we'll offer that, I guess. It just depends on where it's at. Yeah. Most of the time I feel like they always kill it like on the way to Vegas. Like somewhere like long
on the
distance
stretch?
Yeah, it's very rare to kill it in town. Like you have to be pretty negligent.
Yeah.
To like have all these chargers in Phoenix.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. And then to be in town and still not figure it out.
Yeah.
That's usually it's like they're halfway to Vegas and they didn't stop the first charger and they're like, huh, this is gonna be a problem.
Because you have to stop at every one?
You don't have to stop at every one, you just have to stop at one of them. You just gotta stop at something.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this earlier today actually. You do unlimited miles.
On the EVs.
On the EVs.
Yeah, not on any gas cars. And that's primarily because most people don't put the miles on it. Like if you saw our map for our Teslas, we'll get one car every once in a while that goes out of state. Most of them stay within here in Flagstaff, I would say.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and if you did unlimited miles on a van, that thing's going to freaking Canada.
Yeah, that's crazy because I've seen people's bounties, like somebody we used to partner with, literally all over.
All over the country.
But they're all gas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I think when you have lower end cars too, people like to take them far.
Yeah, I think it's just a default of like range anxiety. I think Tesla owners are the ones that do take our cars longer distances because they're like,
They know.
this is easy. Like it is pretty easy. It's not.
Yeah.
I think on a full day of driving, you might stop 3 times, right?
Wow.
Because every 250-ish miles, you're not going to drive more than 1,000 miles in a day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No way in a Tesla.
Well, I'm saying just in general. How many times you drive across country and you put in a 1,000-mile day?
Yeah, that's true. I guess that doesn't really happen.
Yeah, that's a long drive,
really
even
long
for a
drive.
day. But if you just plan around meals, that's what I would say. If you eat 3 times a day, charge it 3 times a day, then you aren't sitting in your car, you're sitting in a diner. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So,
Talk to me about this. You just got this.
it's a non-rental. We actually started making more YouTube content, as you know. Our goal is to actually make it a bigger priority to make YouTube content, and maybe focus on talking about one part of the YouTube channel might be about just this car, right?
Yeah. And so you're not going to rent it out even once?
No.
What if somebody said, I'll pay you $2,500 a day?
I'll let them borrow it, but it's not gonna be rental.
Like you wouldn't put it. You wouldn't.
No,
rental
we
contract?
talked with Audi when we were going. They knew we traded in the SQ7.
Yeah.
They knew we owned a rental car company. I had to sign a bunch of documents, say we weren't going to rent it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I stick to my. I don't know. Your word is all you have at some level. I truly told them I was like, I don't really intend on renting this.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know
You
that
know
they
that
made you
part?
sign stuff.
Yeah,
saying
and I
you
told
can't
them though.
rent
I was like, I told you when I was getting this. Like, when I was looking at it 6 months ago, there's 2 aspects. One, they're done making these.
Yeah.
I think their values are going to hold up pretty well. I didn't pay above sticker. I had whatever it was, $30-some thousand off after everything was all said and done after all the markups. So I think it will be. Obviously, it's a nice car to have. The payment's like $500 more on the SQ7.
Okay. What did you pay for? What's your total payment?
Payments like $3,000 basically, as it comes out to be. MSRP's relatively high. You can kind of figure it out from there. I put a solid amount down.
Yeah.
But that Model 3 that got in a wreck that I already paid off. It took us 9 months, almost a year, to get that insurance payout.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I just gotten that $30,000.
A year from who?
You already know who. It wasn't Turo. It's a third-party insurance company that would never use ever again in our life. And if
year?
it starts with an L and ends in an A, don't use them.
That's pretty broad.
And-
There's a lot of companies that start with that.
Yeah, there's one with an orange logo though.
A year? That's crazy.
Yeah, it
I
was.
never heard
Well,
of that.
the accident was last May, and we just got paid out.
Last May?
My check came in the day I went to go get that.
And you used it for this?
That was my down payment. Yeah.
Wow.
And then-
Were you planning on doing that?
Well, I've been looking for this car for a while, but that made it like a zero-sum game out of pocket. Like,
And you're gonna fly to California to get one of these.
yeah, I was gonna go to Beverly Hills. And
But
then
you got the same deal here.
yeah, no markups,
Dude, this
all
thing's
extras taken off, all dealer fees.
crazy. So you've owned it for, it's been like a month.
Maybe 2 weeks.
weeks,
2
yeah.
weeks. Yeah, we just got the PPF done on it. Seats kind of all pushed up forward.
And so is this, I mean, it's almost like your daily. You've been driving this almost every day.
Yeah, I mean, I drive 4 miles to work, so I haven't put very many miles on it. I won't daily it though. I think Model Y is the best car for that. This will be mostly a content car. I don't think the goal of it's to rent it at all. I'm not a car community guy per se, but I think this will be a good intro to like meeting people in the car community,
For sure.
figuring out how that process works.
Yeah.
Learning about upkeep on these types of cars is good.
So you said this is the last one. Are they not making any R8s ever, or they're making like electric ones?
That's a good question for Audi. I mean, they're done producing these. They had like that video online that said they're done. Like they had like that funeral site at
I never
Audi.
saw this.
Yeah.
Never saw this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's too bad. These are cool cars. This is like Tony Stark.
This is the poster car you have when you're 12 years old. You have in your bedroom.
And
what I
you just did ceramic and PPF
Yeah.
on it?
PPF, pretty much on everything except for the back, because like how many rock chips are you gonna hit your back? All the black parts, all the carbon fiber, all the roof though, it's all PPF on it and ceramic, all the guard spots, everything. So most of it was already done by Audi, so we just kind of finished off the hot spots that are gonna get damaged.
I think this might be, other than the electric, this might be the fastest car in the building, in the facility.
Besides the Plaid, it is.
No, other than the Teslas.
Yeah,
Well, I guess
this
just
is
the Plaid.
this is the fastest gas car
Yeah.
we have in the building. Not even close. If you guys know, I don't drive. I used to probably be a little. He drives like a maniac. He drives like he has his eyes closed.
I do not. That's
Yes,
why
he
I'm-
does.
I've had like 2 tickets, 3.
Yeah, and he's like, I only got caught twice.
No, I used to drive crazy. I drive good now.
I drive like an old man now.
You do?
I used to drive like a little crazy person, but I think being in the car industry, seeing all these accidents, I'm just like, you can go. You
Yeah.
know, like people are passing me in traffic now. And
Dude, it's crazy. You asked me to take home like a nice car one day, and I'm like really reluctant. I'm like, sure. And then you did, and I just like checked the balance, and you're going like
Yeah.
under the speed limit.
I took a Porsche 911 home, and I think my top speed was 67 miles per hour. And the road to my house is 65.
Dude, that's so funny. I was like, I don't know. I was expecting you to do something with it, but
No.
that's funny.
That's how I drive everything.
So what's your favorite? Okay, so you have 3s, Ys. I haven't seen, do you have like, what, 1X maybe, 2?
One, we had multiple in the past. We do a lot of vehicle partner stuff, and those just they depreciate so hard when Elon changed all their pricing. And a lot of your pricing mechanism in Turo especially, the price is relative to the MSRP of the car. So whenever they update those, and now they have the Model X at $79K, and that guy might have bought it at $120K, it's better to just have those people take those cars back and drive them themselves versus, and they will already still have the tax benefits, the Section 179.
That's crazy.
I'd say the SUV is my favorite, Rivian R1S. We have multiple videos about that, obviously, at this point.
Is this your favorite electric
I think so.
SUV right now?
I think so. I think it's more traditional than the Model X, obviously, with the doors.
This thing's sweet.
Yeah, I just call it the Range Rover of the EVs.
It is. It
kind of looks like it. Has that
looks
vibe.
like, yeah. Kind of looks like a Defender, like the new
Looks like a Defender.
Are you still waiting for one of these to break?
Yeah.
Or somebody not to be able to know how to use this?
They never figure out how to use it.
They always ask you?
They always ask questions.
Yeah.
Ops tour-wise, though, I would say this is like the ops section. People are like, you can see we have a bunch of mail and stuff laid out, some lost and found stuff. Usually that TV's on and connected to the Asana board, which is our big board. We have the whiteboard right here. This is more just drawing out the days. There's a lot of movement between the airport and cars with low charge, cars with nails in their tires. We have notes for stuff. I'd say that's used more on busier days when you're trying to like pre-plan stuff out.
And for people that didn't know, you just started doing, well, you did it before, then you stopped, but you just started doing airport delivery again.
Yeah. So technically we were always doing airport delivery.
You always had an airport location.
Yeah, they just came here. We're using an airport parking lot now in Phoenix. Gives people more. I think Uber really wanted us to do it. My frustration with that is that Uber doesn't cover you driving to the airport. So you're like
Turo.
Or Turo, sorry.
Yeah.
Turo doesn't cover you in your trip to the airport. So if you want the car there, but you're not going to cover me.
Is that why you stopped doing it?
Yeah, that was my whole argument.
The risk?
Yeah, I was like, because we had an accident on the way there, and I was like, oh, Turo's definitely going to cover that, and it hit our own insurance. And I was like, so you're telling me you want me to deliver this car to this guy, but you're not going to cover the transportation. Just won't take the cars there.
Yeah. Do you think they'd ever cover that? I can't even imagine that.
No, they won't.
Doesn't make any sense.
I mean, that's just one of those things that, like, if Turo's going to make it, they're going to have to adapt at some level, and they'll eventually have a competitor that will force them to adapt. But right now, they can kind of do whatever they want because there's no forcing pressure, you know? And, you know, Uber rideshare called today. You know, if you heard that call before you came in here, it's like, it's coming. And like, how are they going to compete with a $50 billion company?
Well, and Uber has like, I don't know the amount times more, but so many more like a way bigger
so many more
base.
Customers.
It's insane.
So much more access to capital. Being flexible about the people they're bringing on. And I'm not saying that we're going to leave Turo by any means, but it's like, there's a forcing function that needs to happen. And unfortunately, they won't listen to their host. They don't seem to listen to the guests. So they're going off their own ideologies.
Their own instincts.
No instincts. Yeah, with no instincts. Going off your own instincts with no like.
Zero.
With zero. Yeah. It is what it is. They'll figure it out. Like I told our rep all the time, I express my frustration. It's like, he might be listening, but he has no forcing power.
Yeah.
There's no like, hey, we feel like these guys are being wronged here. What can we do to help? It's like, oh no, we'll escalate the ticket.
Yeah. And
we'll follow up
in
in 48 hours, but if you don't follow up with them, they'll never follow up with you.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It's super
You don't need to go on a
frustrating.
Turo, but yeah, I think that's probably good on that. It is what it is. Like I said, your word is your power, and if they can't follow through on things they promise, then they have no follow through. You know.
Yeah.
You lose all your legitimacy.
Yeah.
It becomes a common theme.
Yeah. So you have about 200 cars yourself. What are you doing for gross revenue, and then how's that split up between? I know you have like a bunch of different programs going on.
Management side are like revenue top line $60,000 a month.
That's what you're collecting from your
co-hosts. That's what we collected management fees.
Vehicle partners.
We had about $280,000 in rental revenue last month.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. And then, yeah, when we were going through the bank statement stuff, so that was what it comes out to be for actual like revenue. So you're thinking $350,000 a month right now.
Okay, and gross revenue.
Yeah, it's been slower. I mean, the market itself has slowed down a lot, as you felt. You know, like whether it's a Turo algorithm or the consumer itself, like being less reluctant to rent. So I think figuring out different avenues how to make money with cars, that's like our main thing. You know, whether it's getting the body shop stuff set up, getting the dealer license set up. Like there's plenty of ways when you have this many assets to make money. It's just trying to figure out how do you stay alive through the process, right?
Yeah, that's something small hosts, like I never did it, honestly, until like I moved here and realized that I kind of thought about it and we did little things, but I feel like you really focus on, there's so many different avenues to make money and to generate and to even just improve. small people just, they don't do that or think
Well,
about
like one thing we've talked about is like create our own glass company. In retrospect, buy our own glass in the future, contract out the installment. We aren't going to teach ourselves how to install.
Yeah.
If you do that yourself though, you're saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes to you like, and you don't have coverage for the glass, or it comes out of your pocket, it might end up costing us 30% of the actual price if we don't have any of the markups, right? Yeah. And if somebody comes to us and they have insurance, we're just gonna do regular rates, just like any glass company would.
Yeah.
So, but that kind of stuff, like I think you need that. And I talked to a guy, that Ben guy that came in the office, he said he talked to him. He's like a little energetic. They have 12,000 doors they manage on Airbnb and VRBO across the United States.
The guy with all the phones.
Not that guy. That guy is like long-term rentals. Like he owns like houses that people rent out, like Section 8 housing and stuff like that. Different guy. That guy, well, either way, long story short, he said when it came down to the Airbnb stuff, after all the market balanced out.
How many doors on Airbnb?
12,000.
12,000 on
It was
Airbnb?
a management company. So it was a very large one, like Guesty or something like that, maybe is what it was called. It's a pretty.
He owns the software, PMS software.
Yeah.
Oh,
so like they have a bunch of homes, and he said the companies that made the most money and that stayed alive were the ones that were making ancillary benefits. The people who had their own cleaning services, people who had their own home repair stuff, like just like all the extra stuff you can have, like all those ancillary benefits is how the big companies survived.
And is that what kind of told you to do it?
Yeah, that was like my instinct. That was probably a couple months ago, right? Or like maybe almost a year ago. It's like, okay, where are the service providers making money on us? What's our biggest cost basis, right? One of them was like, we had to get a new insurance deal. We already knew that. We had to get real insurance company to be truly protected in the event of something bad happening. And then two, it's like, how can we, like we should own a body shop one day. We should own a car wash someday. We should own a glass company. Which one of those is easiest to do? I think a body shop is a pretty easy step. You just contract it out, do cash payments at real body shops, build your way up until you have your own spot. Similar to glass companies, I think car wash is more of a formal process. You're gonna need $500,000 liquid to actually, maybe you get an investor to buy into it. But like, or people who build those parking garages. Like those people are the service providers.
Dude, like pre-flight, which is our big one here. I mean,
1,000 cars there.
I think there's more.
Maybe more, yeah.
Like thousands.
How many cars does he have on Turo?
Who? The guy owns zero. He doesn't have. Well, I think it's a big company, but the guy that manages has zero.
Yeah. So I think that's just an extra like layer to it, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be anything hyper complicated. Like I said, the glass company is pretty easy setup. The repair stuff we've talked about, we're starting to get the software for it. Yeah. It's kind of more expensive to get set up, but to do it legit and get everything licensed right. But it's not expensive compared to the cost of doing it with someone else.
Yeah.
Like if you actually add it up, like we spent $150,000 in glass last year. At least.
In 1 year?
At least. I mean, you're thinking a Model 3 windshield, $1,600.
That's a lot.
We've gone through over 100 windshields.
Gone through 100 windshields?
At least. A car averages a windshield a year, and we have 200 cars.
It goes through a windshield a year?
Easy.
You just did 2 the other day.
We did 3.
Yesterday.
We did 3.
You did 3?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And they're like $1,500 pop? Almost
I think
$5,000.
$13.49 now. They got a little cheaper. Yeah. Like $4,500.
That's a lot of money. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the systems you've developed in having not only like a big car rental company or larger fleet, but Tesla specific, because you need special things for it.
Yeah, I can show you some stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to remodel this. I know it looks like a frat house at some point. We got our flooring done.
Where are these couches from?
There's no comment on that. That chair though is from Goodwill.
This is Goodwill? You bought it specifically for this place?
No.
Oh.
It was at my house.
Oh.
And I didn't know where to put it, so I brought it here.
Oh.
It's comfy, just like a little extra dust.
Yeah.
So 2 things big. Some of our Teslas right here on this standard fleet. This is where you can see, if you can see on the camera, we have about 20-ish cars here. All these front are check-in, check-outs. Those are pretty much all going to be gone. The rest of them, as you can tell, I tell people, cars don't really go out of state very often. Looks like a couple, that's our Salt Lake City location, have gone out of state here. Carson's car, 642. We do have one going on a cross-trip country road. That's supposed to come back Sunday. I did raise the price for that to $169 a day because that guy is going very far. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. He's in Indiana now.
Is he from here or is he from your other location?
From this location he left here.
Holy crap.
Turo trip. So it's
jeez.
His supercharging bill is going to be, $400. So we'll see how that pans out.
What's the biggest supercharging you've seen?
1,000.
You've seen 1,000?
Yeah, because people have had cars for on Turo for months. Oh. They'll come back and they're always upset. There's never been a person that's done $1,000 in charging that's like, I understand that I'm responsible for my own fuel.
Because they don't realize. It doesn't even add up for them in their mind.
No, they'll come back and be like, oh, I thought it was free to charge. Even though in the car it tells them, you just got charged $17. It's a very convenient stance to take.
And if it were gas, it'd be 2-3 times the amount, 4. I mean, it'd be more. It'd be a lot more.
Yeah. This right here is,
So
wow, we are doing good today.
wow.
So
That's insane.
this board is chaotic. To say the
Typically,
least.
beginning of the day, it's filled with
Yeah.
all the different reservations.
Like you're talking like maybe 60 or 70 moving parts in a day. I did notice today though that if you go to our trips that we almost have no checkouts. Honestly, we should send some of the cleaners home after they sweep up and get all the stuff mopped. We have a 6-hour gap stand returns. That's unheard of nowadays.
6 hours?
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. These are all pickups in the morning and drop-offs. And then this car came back at 1, which is in Salt Lake City, so it wasn't even here. So this car came back at noon. No other cars come back until 4:30.
That's still crazy.
And then 7. So I guess
That's
that one might
City.
have even moved. That one might have
that's
even moved. Yeah, 7. That one might have even moved. I don't remember seeing this one, so this guy might have had a request change.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, typically, the biggest gap I've seen other than this now is like an hour, 2 at the most. 2 is like a lot. And for a Friday?
Oh yeah, he just modified the trip at 1:12.
Oh,
So I don't know. Oh, he wanted to drop off after hours, so he's dropping off early.
damn. That's crazy. Those are the 2 main systems. So Asana is to manage all the reservations between different platforms into one and check it off. Because on Turo, those of you who don't know, you can't check. Oh, it's so annoying. You can't check it off to like show that it's been done. And you can't, obviously they're not going to add, they probably wouldn't add this, but like you can't see who did it. When you run a company, you want to see how efficient people are.
When you're
how
on
many cars are getting
CarSync,
done.
you could see it, right? And you could tell based on their product people that they actually have never ran anything on scale on their own platform because they would, 1, instinctively set that up so you could check stuff off. 2, if they had listened to feedback from anyone, including everyone else that talks to them, they would have already set that up. So that's another example. They just don't have ways. There's no project planning. There's no management servicing on Turo.
Yeah.
It's just a huge feed. And that works for someone with 2 cars, right? Or 3 cars.
Oh yeah.
It does not work.
Not at scale.
If you have, a handful of cars. It feels like this wheel's about to break on this.
Uh-oh.
But I mean, today we're like, so that car must have changed from Saturday. It wasn't even on the board today for returns. So
I think one of the smartest things you guys do when I moved in and realized, and I've never seen this anywhere but here, is 24-hour advance. So all the cars for tomorrow are finished today. They're ready, they're checked in, they're out front. That's one piece to it. And then when the cars come back, they're cleaned right away. So if there's like a last minute booking or when you're getting cars ready for tomorrow, they're already done. Like maybe a quick wipe if extra, like if it gets rained on or you got to run it through the wash. Other than that, it's all done.
Yep.
Like that, dude, that, like compared to where I was last when I partnered with somebody, when that was like day to day, like you can't even catch a breath.
Yep.
To now it's like day and night.
Yeah, we could ask Carson. Carson, is it easier the next day when we have all the check-ins done? If
That's
we plan
fast.
ahead of time, it makes it so much easier. And if you don't have it set up right, it's a stressful day.
Dude, even having like 25 cars, like trying to do a single day with 2-3 people,
Yeah.
it's
We
hard.
We had 55 cars go out, what was it, last Thursday? And I remember saying, this didn't feel too bad.
I remember that.
Because those guys, conveniently, because we told them, like, this is a big day, don't mess this one up.
Yeah.
Like, when you have probably 30 of those checked in from the previous day, you're good.
Yeah.
And you can prep that in, like, the after hours. Like, they might have had to stay a little bit later that day, maybe at 6 o'clock until getting off at 5. But it makes your next day
Breeze.
a breeze.
Breeze.
A breeze. And then any cars that do get booked last minute, they're already cleaned. You just
Yeah.
got to go find them and check
Yeah,
them in.
easy peasy. And how did you learn that system?
I don't know, dealing with all the chaos. I mean, it wasn't like, we just figured it out. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
One way, obviously, it hurts those guys. I've told you that. I went and talked to them. They operate on the clean as return. They weren't as clear on the 24-hour check-in rule, but
Okay.
any car comes back, it's cleaned on the spot. That's common sense, though, if you really think about it. You can't have a full day's worth of work stack up and expect the next day to be easy.
So how did the shift look? It was pretty easy.
For what?
That, I mean, because if you're talking
We were
about,
honestly doing that the whole time.
oh, you were?
Yeah, even from the beginning when I was at, like, all of our check-ins were in a day in advance. Yeah, it's just how it just made it the easiest. So, like, because if you get behind on that day, say something gets crazy,
Yeah.
you're going to be behind on the next day's work.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking about for people that wanted to do that, I guess it's not that hard. It's 48 hours. They have to do 2 days at once.
Yeah,
Today's and
there's
tomorrow's.
one day, and like if these guys get behind, that's why I say the same thing. It's like today's going to be crazy because now we have to do 2 days worth of work to get caught up so we're not in like that backlog.
Yeah. Let's check out the back. So we have, what did you say, 242-ish, 245 cars
Yep.
between the two companies here. It doesn't really feel like it. We have all the inside space for the Teslas and the charging, and then the higher-end exotics, or just higher-end cars that we park over here. And then we have the back spaces for all the Teslas practically. Are there any charging on that back wall?
No, we have like 2 outside ports that we'll use sparingly. We have a couple public chargers that are nearby that we'll plug into. There's 2 that specifically we use. But I mean, I don't know who that red truck is, but
Oh, that's our mechanic.
is it? Actually? Is he here right now?
No, he picked up a car. He took it to his house. He has all the tools there.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, it seems pretty lax. Most of these cars go out tomorrow. If you actually broke it down, that car is going back to its owner, I believe.
It's going back to where?
His owner.
Yeah.
Maki.
You have a few of these.
Yeah, they're good. That guy, that's maybe a slightly older one. I mean, if there's one that's like, we'll know what the problems are to come on these newer ones, that's probably it. Because that one has like 20, 30,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And you can...
Year two, 2 years old maybe?
Yeah, just some wear and tear. It's like a little squeaky. It's pretty similar to like original Tesla problems. Stuff's not perfectly manufactured.
Yeah, what's the biggest problem with Tesla's maintenance and everything?
I mean, like we talked about it, repairs kind of take longer. Rim damage is more common, I think, on Teslas because the rims stick out.
You said it's pretty much wheels and tires.
Wheels and tires. Maintenance is pretty cheap. Yeah, maintenance-wise. Tire rotations you have to be on top of with Teslas. They wear pretty fast if you don't.
How many miles do you do it?
Every 7,000 miles.
7,000? And you have a company that tracks that?
Yep. It's called Fleet. They pretty much, they don't schedule, they can schedule it for you. Pretty much you're telling like, hey, these 5 cars need tire rotations.
And then like text you or email you? We're getting set up in that system now.
Yeah,
I think we're all
either way. You can be text or email. They can schedule it for you too. They have in the past. I think we are better at just dropping the cars off because discount's so good with us. We'll just take the cars there. They do the tire rotation. We always have a car there, 24/7. Harley, we have a car at Discount Tire? Yeah, we have a car at Discount. So like, it's pretty much just a rotating mechanism at that point. We just always have a car there. Yeah. And they never get upset if it stays there for like 2
And that's
days.
how it is. You have that on a lot of things. The airport's one.
Yep.
Where there's rotating mechanism. That's the way to do it. Like, you have to do an Uber every time. It's
yeah,
first of all,
we almost don't Uber.
I know.
I would say
Pretty good.
we don't do custom delivery locations. That helps, but we very rarely will use an Uber. Now you're thinking maybe body shops because there's not that much rotation there. But airport, we're just picking, dropping off cars.
Additional charging locations.
Additional charging locations.
Like,
we just pick up. We just swap.
I've
cars
never
out.
seen an Uber from additional charging location ever.
No, we just swap them out. I mean, that's just a cost savings. You can't pay $100 a week on Ubers.
And all you have to do is pre-plan.
All you have to do is plan
All
it
you
out.
have to do is look at it. Look at what you have and look at what needs to be moved. And it's not that hard. It just takes
Yeah, I
looking
mean,
at it.
I think that's, if anything I've learned from this I could ever take is if I ever wasn't doing this or go to a different business, I don't know if you call it project planning or logistics, whatever it may be, like I am a big planner. Like whether it's my personal day, whether it's my routine, like I'm not perfectly routine. Sometimes I sleep in, right? But like I still have a game plan going in the previous day. So like sometimes like, hey, I want to be up at 5:30. Sometimes like that was my game plan, right? Sometimes I don't perfectly follow through with it, but I still had a game plan the previous night. Yeah. And most people are just like waking up and they have what's gonna happen today. Yeah. And that's a
Some
tough
people
way.
run by the seat of their pants.
Yeah, it's a tough way to manage a business or life for a lot of reasons. So I think that's a big thing that helps us, and that's what teaching all these guys about. It's like, how do you plan for the next day? Because I would say most of the hourly guys or just any of the employees, if they take anything from here, is learning how to plan that out.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I think the last system that we have that's really good, actually, you probably know more about it, is the messaging overseas. So we use a company
Called RoadChat,
and they take care of like all the automated messaging. Or not automated, like they message back to the customers and stuff, and it's customer communication.
It's all set up through Turo. They have their own Turo accounts. So basically, think of it co-hosting as for just your customer support. So you're thinking all those 1 a.m. calls, all the emergency messaging at the middle of the night. I believe they cover 20 hours a day. I don't think it's quite 24 hours. So you're thinking like at 2 a.m. if something happens, or 3 a.m. you might have to get up, or you just sleep through it. But they do a really good job. Like I would say they are overseas. There are some like learning curves with people like, hey, like what should we do here? What should we do here? But generally speaking,
this is training though.
Yeah, 90% of the most common issues you don't even hear about anymore. Like it's not the fatigue goes away of having to keep up with that.
Yeah, and I remember just looking at past people that either I've worked with or seen their accounts, like having 150 cars or more is insane. The amount of messaging you don't even understand. Hey, let's pull it up real quick, actually.
So we have it all built out through Slack. And this goes back to the same thing. We don't use actually Turo for anything, like nothing project planning, not even customer support.
I'm gonna show the Turo messaging real quick. All right.
Well, it's gonna all be right here too.
Oh, it is Slack? Yeah. Can't even load, there's so many messages.
This is our Turo messages right here for today. It might be 1,000 messages, honestly, in any given day.
You literally can't even scroll through the app. There's so many messages.
Yeah, so you see how his app right now, he can barely, like he can load like what, 7 messages at a time. So this is starting at midnight right here. And this is the scroll for all, and that green check mark means the message has been checked off. The guy working at this time was RJ this morning. You go through, you can see all these messages were taken care of. This is 400 plus messages. It doesn't even tell you the total count because it's so many. So it's just for this morning, all these were taken care of. We pay, what, $10 a month per car for this? So you're thinking if you're a guy with 20 cars, you're paying $200 a month.
And to have everything taken care of,
Yeah, you basically
my
are
gosh.
alerted for like the most high critical things. So like if you want to put your energy towards something, you should be taking care of like an accident or like someone's having mechanical issues, whatever it may be, and they alert that. So this guy is on a lunch break right now. I do know that. So we have probably like, he goes off from 2 to 3. So he's getting back right now here in a second. His name's Gian, so that's start. But he'll be covering the rest of these messages here in a second. So he's backed up like 10 messages. If you had a Turo account, you were always responding.
I remember last facility we worked at, they responded to all their messages, and they didn't have like a person that responded. So they would get backed up like, I mean, I would sit down after work and like at my house and respond to like 50 messages throughout the day.
Yeah, and there's no, or like this way we don't have to double check if we've marked someone. This is checked off once. We don't have to go back, it's been viewed. So they just click on it, it opens a new window. This takes you to a new tab. You're already on the guy's messages right here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, hey,
That's-
I need access to the insurance. This
Like
guy
that.
is probably an Uber driver.
Yeah.
He's asking for the insurance.
Oh, yeah, classic. Uber.
Classic guy.
And a lot of people probably think these systems are like, I mean, if I had 25 cars, even at just 50, I'd be like, these systems, you don't need any of this stuff. But once you look at 250 or 200 or 150, you're like, oh, I need this stuff now. It kind of becomes a necessity. If you don't do it, it's fine. Your life's going to be hell. But if you have it, it's so seamless.
Yep,
Which
and
is,
this
I think,
is
cool.
our tracker for outbound calling for new bookings. So we track that. We've marked if they have any changes to their reservation, if they want to be at a certain spot at the airport. Seems a little behind actually. So if there's one thing we're behind on, working on, oh, that's tomorrow's cars actually. So they're actually ahead of time. So they're working on Sunday's cars now.
They're working on Sundays already?
Yeah, this is not check-ins, this is calling, talking
wow.
to the guests overseas. They'll call and verify the trip.
That's
And
crazy.
they'll change location to that specific airport one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So back to Teslas. If somebody were to buy a Tesla, what would you suggest? What would you think is the best one to buy for?
Right now, it's a new Model Y with tax credit.
Tell me about it.
They're probably like, what, $30-some thousand right now?
For why? Seems
Yeah.
like a pretty good deal. But there's tax credit on top of that, or that's
No,
with the tax
that's
credit?
after the tax credits. Yeah, so if you go to, let's go to Tesla.com. You're going vehicles, go inventory. That's where you're gonna find the biggest discounts. See Model Y, let's do eligible for tax credit. So this car is $32,000 after the tax credit.
Damn.
But that's a good, well-priced Tesla for a starter car.
Yeah.
Like, and even for like an Uber driver or something, you're looking at a car, if you have good credit, you're gonna get approved for that right away. It's a low finance loan.
And what does something like that make a month?
It's like 1,600, it's probably in that range. It's lower a little bit from last year. With the Uber drivers, we're making like 2,000 a month, but it's high usage, right? On Turo, I think last month they probably averaged like 1,600, 1,700.
Okay.
Throughout the year, maybe 1,500. Our cars go in and out of Uber drivers all the time. So
Yeah.
like, if it was just Turo now, you're probably thinking 1,400. If you're just set on Turo, that's my guess. It's hard to tell though, because our cars fluctuate so much.
Yeah.
Because on Turo, it'll look like they do bad sometimes, because they'll be out of Turo for 2 months, and they'll come back.
Yeah.
So
That's what's tough when you look at just Turo numbers, especially when you're doing other
other stuff.
programs or
Yeah,
whatever.
other rideshare companies, whatever it may be.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's about. I mean, you're thinking your payment for that's $600 a month. So if you're making $1,400, that's still $800.
Payment plus some.
Yeah,
That's good.
I think the key for that, like we've talked about, is like finding slightly used ones, buying them in cash, make your money back in the first year,
Yeah.
and then you should be good.
Yeah.
I think that's an easier path to like long-term success.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big leverage guy on low interest area times. Now with 10% interest cross board everywhere, I'm like, yeah.
It's a little
I'm
tougher
glad we
there.
have all the cars we have now.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I don't know. It would be very hard to start from scratch right now, I think. I think it's much harder now than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Can't
And what's
imagine.
nice with these though is they don't. I was looking at numbers for Teslas with like 10 to 40,000 miles. There's not a huge gap. It was like $5,000 gap for like the 10,000 miles, like 27,000, and then all the way down to like 50,000 miles was like 20,000. So if people want to be a vehicle partner with you or get more information about Teslas, you do help people with tax credit stuff.
We don't do the tax stuff. We just refer to people. I'm not like a tax
Okay.
expert whatsoever.
Okay.
I would put a huge asterisk and big sign. I'm a tax idiot. There's a lot of companies that will help you if you're buying assets for your business, whether it's EVs or anything else. They'll help you save a lot of money on taxes. So we'll just refer to those people. You guys meet, you think it's a good idea. It's like, hey, let's go get you some cars then, and you guys handle tax stuff in a whole separate room. But that seems like to be the most consistent thing, because then you have 2 buckets of success. You have one, it's like, hey, first year I saved $100,000 in taxes. And I paid, even if they break even, right? Say they, after management fees, say they break even, they're happy.
Yeah.
They didn't have to pay the $100,000 tax bill. Let's say they profit a little bit, like, okay, I made an extra $15,000 doing nothing, and I saved $100,000 in taxes or whatever it may be.
That's huge.
So that I think, and Brandon's talked about this fast. Guy I used to work with, or heavier cars. I think that's the biggest part. Is like you have to have multifaceted like benefits.
Yeah.
And like when it's arbitrage like this, because we're just a management company when it comes down to it. Like we're not an investment company. Like we're here to manage your asset, just like an Airbnb management. Like I can't control Turo's process. Like they couldn't control Airbnb's, you know. So if you just rely on that, that's pretty difficult.
It's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
So how can people reach out to you if they want information about Vehicle Partner?
We have a YouTube channel now, Tesla Rental Guy. Very original. It's my YouTube handle or Instagram handle. You can email me at justin@evaccess.io. We have meetings pretty often, I would say. Like people like once, twice a week, people reach out. We talk to them about it, figure out 1 or 2 cars, usually the most common fit. Sometimes people are bigger than that. But yeah, it should be good.
So if you guys want to reach out, you can hit us up at heartrentalsaz@gmail.com. It's typically where we take all of our inquiries. All right. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
Peace.